Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2023. We have a few birthdays, a couple events to talk about today. We're going to go all the way back to 1993 at Martinsville in the Cup Series, where Ernie Irvan dominated the race and won. This, I believe, was his first win driving for Robert Yates in that famous 28. And something that it did, and when Ernie got into victory lane, he kind of stopped the proceedings, unzipped his uniform, and underneath he had a Davey Allison t-shirt on, and nobody knew that he had that on underneath because he was so confident that he was going to win that day. He wanted to have it on because, one, he had took over the 28 car after Davey Allison had passed, but two, neither Davey, his uncle Donnie, or his father Bobby won at Martinsville Speedway during their long, storied careers there. And the only other really major event on this day in 2004, Rubens Barrichello won the first F1 race at the track in Shanghai. I remember watching that. It is a really nice, very detailed circuit, and they raced there up until 2019. Not sure what happened. Obviously, we know what happened in 2020, but I don't know why they haven't been back. So anyway, a few birthdays. A very important birthday here. I was trying to find a card I had of him, but I couldn't find it, so I got one that will somewhat represent decently. Born on this day in 1909, passed away in 1992. And what we're going to do is NASCAR was started and founded by Mr. Bill France Sr. So, that's the iconic NASCAR logo I grew up with. So, without Bill France Sr. and his visions and his ideas and his stands, we wouldn't be having this channel today. So, Mr. France, thank you for everything that you did to bring NASCAR and really raise it up and keep it going, and your son Bill Jr. and your family and everybody. So, thank you and happy birthday to Bill France Sr. So, moving on. Born on this day in 1956. We've seen this card once before on the channel in a eBay purchase, but he only ran a few cup races in the late 80s. Mr. Lee Faulk. He was one of the drivers of the Slender U figure salon cars there that Bob Clark owned in the late 80s, so he ran a few races. Born on this day in 1925, passed away in 1982. He was more famous for what he did at the Grand Ole Opry than what he did behind the wheel of a cup car. Mr. Marty Robbins. Of course, he raced at Nashville Speedway, Nashville Fairgrounds. That's Bobby Hillin Jr.'s car right behind him. It's kind of funny. But Marty Robbins ran ran actually several races from the early 70s till he ran, last race he ran was in November of 82. Just a few weeks before he passed away of a massive heart attack. And our final birthday, born on this day in 1963, so wow, he's 60. Another one of our chameleon drivers, Mr. Joe Nemechek, Front Row Joe. So we're going to look at a few of the cards from his Busch Series career. And this card is 92, so it's 91 picture. And I just noticed the Lozito's Pharmacy there. Lozito's was a big part of his 1992 Busch Series championship. Of course, he had Dentine on the car for a little bit in the Busch Series, as well as Bell South Mobility, a couple different paint jobs there. And then he would hop around. This is the only Busch Series car card that I could find. And I do like the way the numbers there are kind of falling off the 7. I think that's pretty cool. I like how a lot of teams play around with numbers. Of course, in the Cup Series, he ran for Rookie of the Year in 1994. Had a best finish of third at Pocono, the fall Pocono race that year. Did have a pole at Charlotte. I believe he won the pole for the Coke 600 as well. 95, 96, he had Burger King, so you got a couple different incarnations of the driving suit there. Not a lot of changes. He went on to the Bell South car. You'll see here. Drove for Andy Petrie in the Oakwood Homes car for a couple seasons. Went to Rick Hendrick, drove the 25 car for a little bit. Then he joined the MB2 team with the U.S. Army car. Had a short stint at Furniture Row, where go back and look at the early Furniture Row cars. Not the ones where they were that primer black or the flat black, But boy, they just had some horrendous paint jobs. Then, of course, now here you see the difference. Definitely much more appeal with that look. Then he went to that Bobby Ginn team, and that's pretty much the end of his Cup career with anything that he wasn't funding. Of course, he did some Startin' Park stuff. Of course, you got that DAB Contractors, AMF Energy Pellets, a few other sponsors that he had that he did mid-2000s there. This is one of my favorite Meineke paint schemes. Really, really like that one a lot. A couple different Burger Kings, one from 95, one from 96. I think that one really, gives you that Burger King Flame Broil image. Then we have a couple Bell South cars here. I think they were trying to capture some of that rainbow magic that Jeff Gordon and the 24 team had, but no pot of golds came their way. They did have one win at Loudon. Here's that Andy Petrie owned Oakwood Homes car. Got a couple different 01 cars. This one has a little bit more of a, that almost looks like a bullet coming through there. I don't know. And then a little less yellow on that car. And our final one, again, the FrontRowJoe.com Startin' Park Toyotas that he ran there in the mid-2000s. So anyway, a lot of birthdays to celebrate today. Very, very important, of course, with Bill France Jr. that we talked about at the top of the show. So very, very thankful for his visions way back in the 50s, 40s, and 50s. It's brought us all here today. So we're 75th year NASCAR this year. So we got 25 more, and I'm sure that 100 celebration will be really, really big. So anyway, as always, thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow.